poppin'. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. Put up or shut up. Put up or shut up. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. Tipper bags, I got tipper bags, yeah. If your service good, get a stag, yeah. 50 grand, make your job disappear. I look the part, yeah, I look Davenir. Get my order right or I'ma bust a Yui. I don't like raw fish in my sushi. Want a big tip, better get the cooking. I am not paying you for all this lipping. Sapphire diamonds, yeah, they bluey. Put them around your neck, you look chewy. Blow 10 grand, please excuse me. Bless me real good, I need a hero cookie. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. Put up or shut up. Put up or shut up. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper.
They say the rap game dead, I object, that's a low blow. Taking copycatting off each other, that's a no-no. Keep this original, or just not even no show. I'm a big tipper, when I spend it, I'ma flip ya. So girl, drop it really low, show them how we for the flow. Candy, yam, and stick and ball, feed me and give me more. Haters gon' hate when they see us running state to state. The way that we be tipping, man, up this on some other shit. Down on this dude, what you mean, that's another chick. Coming in, going out on some other shit. Try to rip us off, best believe it, that's a no-go. Never trust nobody, even family, that's a no-no.
I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. Put up or shut up. Put up or shut up. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper.
Neck froze on my neck on, cheat codes to the game though. Big tipping on the regular, then jet became a schedule. I got it straight out of mud, I do not need a judge. My money do not budge, money longer count it up. My roses is looking real cold, I diamond shining with the gold. Maybe I cheated it up, put it right there on the stove. I'm just a thing you don't know, I'm just a thing that I don't show. I got the game in a chokehold, you try to steal from me, I know. Bank account, big account, I'm about to tip you now. Look, I got a bounce, I do not play around. I'm at the records now, stand up and pipe it down. Regular tipping like wow.
Welcome to the Power of Voices, and this is the Comedy Hour Live with Anna Marie. And don't mind me because I'm wicked excited. It's Sarah Halstead in the house. Woo!
Hey,
Sarah.
man. Hi, Anna Marie. Thank you very much for having me.
You've been like almost impossible to get. I mean, and not only that's always a good thing, you know, when you have your itinerary. Yeah.
Well, I guess. No, thank you for wanting me to be on. It really is an honor. And we've been friends for a long time on Insta. This is the first time we met in person.
She's being kind. I stalk her on Instagram. That's all there is to it.
I stalk her too. No, you're fabulous. And you're just like this hot tamale sassafras from Boston. I wanted to see you in the flesh. Like, you know, is she just as fabulous in person? And my God, you are just outrageously, you're like...
Seeing as we have almost some of the same, and we can't talk about the NDA thing going on right now, but we have some of the same humble beginnings. That's actually quite funny. But, you know, I actually have been going in to some of the comedians that said, I'm going to be on your show. I said, okay. So I'm like, look, God likes it when you help little old ladies out. You know, like I'm of that quota. It's really kind of funny how in the comedy world, it's the only place in LA where you can jump in at any time, no matter what you look like, or what age you are, as long as you're funny.
That's right. You just got to be funny, and it's kind of a for sure thing. If, in my opinion, it's actually reassuring to me that if you stick with comedy and if you work really hard, you will move forward within the comedy world, whereas acting, it's like a crapshoot. You could,
it is, because
for years and years and years, and just spin and not get anywhere,
waiting to look exactly like their imaginary whoever it is, because that's what it comes down to. And either your body posture or whatever. Oh, that's it,
right? And so therefore there are like these stipulations, these really unfair, uncontrollable stipulations. Where in comedy, no, just be funny. That's it.
Right, because you can't, and we always say this. Why? Because you can't fake funny.
You can't fake it.
Can't,
it's you get the laughs or you don't.
No. Even, that's the other thing, too, is do you do your own writing?
Yeah, I do.
And that's a lot of work, too.
It is a lot of work, especially when you're kind of like a newbie like me. I'm a beginner comic, and so I'm always trying new things. And, I really, I notice when in the green room, the really relaxed comics are the ones who have been doing the same set and don't change it up, where I can't, in the green room, I can't talk to people because my mind is just like, going nuts.
And
exactly.
Punctuate there.
I look forward to that day. It's a combination, like, people who don't do the work and do the same sets redundantly, or there are just some that just the pros where they can just go out and not even think about what they're going to do. Like they've been doing this for 25 years and they got it. They don't have to think about it.
No, it really is the art of storytelling in a way that, and I know when you're out with a group of people, I'm sure you've been there where there's a person who's going to tell you a story and you're like, oh God, kill me now. Can we just get to the point? And that can be like with joke telling, is learning the art of that delivery in a way that keeps people, they know it's coming. They know that, but when you can hit them from this side, because they think you're going to come right at them with the punch.
Yeah.
And that's when you get this.
Well, are you talking about storytelling, like storytelling comics, though, versus...
What is it called? It's called setup and punch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, premise, setup, punch. Right. I just don't... I love that kind of comedy. That's what I do. Like I do like punches, but the storytelling comics, I just think it takes so much more craft to pull it off, and I don't have the nerve to even try it. Yeah, I'm just not a storyteller because when it's not working, it really doesn't work.
Crickets.
It's just. And have you seen those stories? And I'm just like, when will this end?
Yes.
I'm uncomfortable for the person.
The last 30 seconds are an eternity. There's also like the idea of, I saw, oh my God, I'm going to think of his name in a second. It was there and then it went. Traffic Tonight really got me jolted. By the way.
Yeah, how about that?
May I just say that? May I just say, is everyone in LA out on the road? It's like,
everybody okay out there?
Not just that, it felt like they made an announcement. There's a plane on the highway. We got to get out, babe. We got to go see this.
That was nuts.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was, because it was actually crippled over the Jersey barrier, folded on the opposite side, everything. And that was at what, 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock today. No fatalities. The pilot is okay, from what I understand.
Just a little embarrassed.
Walked away.
He's going to have a hell of a bill.
Shit. Wow.
You do know that, right? When you do something that catastrophic, you're going to get a bill from the highway department, the city of Los Angeles. You're going to pay for it's unimaginably expensive.
I hope he's insured. I would imagine he is. I don't know what that.
Do they have that?
Jeff's
right?
A pilot. Do you have pilot insurance? So people are super covered.
Does anyone ever anticipate that? Like, you could have an accident in the middle of the highway, and you're like, is it car insurance? Okay. Or, yeah, right? That's a hell of a Geico commercial, I'm telling you right now.
Most small plane crashes running out of gas.
Is it?
Ooh. Then he will be held accountable for that.
Knucklehead.
Yeah.
They don't have a knucklehead clause, so you owe that. Now, I find that really fascinating, too, because tonight it felt like, and I'm serious, I was driving back from Westlake. So the traffic on the opposite side was all backed up. But then I get, like, you ever go through that in LA where you get to the point where you're like, why was there even everybody stopping? It's just like all of a sudden traffic starts going over nothing.
Yeah. I really have to get used to that. It's like because I'm I like to drive in New York, right? You're in
Boston.
You're Boston, but I'm sure you went to New York a lot. Right?
Well, yes, and the only reason was because I
Northeast.
No, because the guys that were going to New York need somebody to keep them awake. And this is a true story. So I would get asked to go on long trips because I was the only person they knew that could keep them laughing, keep them awake, so they didn't fall asleep.
You're a great companion.
Yeah, I was like
road trip companion. I can see that.
But driving in New York has got to be like.
It just never really left me. I'm kind of an aggressive driver.
I was going to say,
you must be so aggressive. But I think I'm great, right? Like I've never even been in a mere fender bender because I just react really quickly. But I have a little bit of a lead foot problem. In fact, this week I had to do community service at the Goodwill to get out of a ticket, and I had to put in 19 hours.
Oh my God!
It's like a problem. Like I have like a little bit of a problem.
You're a rager. You're a road rager.
No, I'm not a rager. I'm aggressive. And those cameras are very manipulative. It was like a red light situation.
Culver City or Beverly Hills.
Yes, it was.
First ticket I got.
Both of them nailed me. 100.
Oh my goodness.
$590.
500
for that ticket and 3 points on your license. So don't forget what?
Oh, is it 3 points on you? No, because if you go to traffic school, they take it away.
Well,
you can only do that once.
And I did that already.
We have a problem, Houston.
No, that's my thing. That's my vice. Other than that, I'm perfect.
Were you like me going, I did not. Oh, they got a video. Shoot, there I am.
I swear that video was manipulated because I do stop, but then I make the rolling turn. I stop.
California roll.
It's a California roll.
That ain't right.
Man, you put a little wasabi on the side.
Do you know that was one of the jokes that I did in saying that when you come to L.A., when you land at the airport, they should have a welcome brochure, and in that is a complimentary parking violation. Because you're going to get one.
Oh, well, when you drive a lot like me, yeah. I'm always in my car. But, yeah, you do drive a lot?
Yeah, I drive a lot.
Yeah.
But boy, $1,200 worth of tickets the first 5 minutes I got here curbs a little bit of, like, getting 3 tickets in one day. Have you ever done that?
No, I had like that in 1 week. You didn't get 3 in one day.
Okay. Anna Marie had up our ass thinking because you said that about your mind, right? So I'm thinking, get out of the car, shut the door. I'm eating at Sweet Butter. Shout out to Sweet Butter. I love that place. And all of a sudden it dawns on me, oh shit, I didn't put money in the meter. And as I'm running to the car, I can see the guy at the car. So once they start writing the ticket, by the way, you're done. So now he goes to the front of the car and he says, oh, and I got my license in my dash because I don't have the holes yet. Because, when you're not from here, my car didn't need a front plate. Yeah. He's like, Arn, you got an additional $25 ticket.
Man.
Because, and don't worry, he says, you go pay this and you won't get another one. I'm like that's a consolation prize. Then I go to Santa Monica Beach and I get the pay ticket and it says flat fee $10, right? But what I don't see, and me and there's 30 other cars with tickets, it says only good till 8 o'clock.
Oh,
so
man.
at 8:15, because you don't look, you see flat rate.
You're just trying to go to your car.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I'm just sitting there going, okay, that was $53. So $63.25 and then $53 in one day.
Damn.
It was like, what do you... And see, they don't tell you that when you come to LA, you're going to have an extra car payment. It's called tickets.
Yeah.
A $93 ticket sitting in my car.
That's additional overhead that I have to factor in every month.
Is
I have it on an Excel spreadsheet of my monthly overhead, and I have, it's categorized as shit that happens. And then, and it's always parking tickets. That's what it is.
Oh, but okay. So you're a lead foot on the road. What kind of car you drive? So I know to stay away from you.
Right.
Right. And then you got to wonder how many years it takes. Because see, I lived in Florida for 11 years. Okay.
I lived in Florida for 12.
West Coast.
All right, East Coast.
All right, East Coast. But the West Coast,
Biggie or Tupac? No, but okay. All right.
I'm telling you, I had. There was never. The worst was when you were in season. You got anywhere near Siesta Key to go. Forget that traffic. Okay. So
yeah.
That was the crawl. But I came from there, and it took me 2 weeks to get up the nerve to get on this highway because for 11 years, it's like, driving just, where you can actually buy a vowel to get your license passed if you're 80 or over.
Yeah, that's true.
We see the little
DMV
lady
was a joke. It was really funny.
Helping, right?
Yeah.
I was amazed at that.
They'll have anybody pass.
No. It's like, I'm sorry, is that like what's next? Braille? Are we just going to read it in Braille because these people can't see?
So Florida drivers, you have to admit, those are by far the worst than any state.
Terrible, like they never anybody. But you have to understand, they're all from Minnesota and Michigan.
Well, I'm
and
from
Canada.
Michigan.
That's right.
I'm from Michigan, but
Right?
and you're right. I do think that people in Michigan, but see, they have at least people from the Midwest understand the concept of slow lane, medium lane, fast lane.
Oh no, that's the other side of that too. The keeper of the speed.
Yeah.
When you come up, how enraged do you get? Now this is where you know you tweaked. When you come up over the hill, and you can see that one car in the fast lane that has everybody locked down.
Yeah.
Right? And are you a looker when you go by people?
I'm a looky.
If they aggravate you, when you got to glare at them when you go by?
Yeah.
Because they've aggravated you? It's not official. Forget the horn. I just want to.
I never want this story to end because I just want to repeatedly hear you say the word "ka."
Ka. That whole thing.
I love it. Oh my God. Do I have an accent to you?
No. Does she to you?
Do I?
No.
Michigan?
It's pretty straight.
Yeah? Oh, thank you.
I'll hear. My
That's
niece
such a
is
compliment.
from.
I had one for a very long time.
You did?
So,
My
Michigan,
niece is from Royal Oak.
Oh, okay. That's not. I'm from Flint. Royal Oak's like, ooh, lo, 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 lo.
Oh, okay. Well. But that's interesting because someone else said that. Yeah, right?
And I drank that water.
Oh, my goodness.
long
That's got to be
time.
frightening, though. You still have family back there?
I do. We were just there last weekend. Yeah, I have, almost all my family's there.
What do they think
My
about you doing comedy? And
You know,
are you one of many? How many kids?
I'm one of 3. I have 2 brothers. My family is so incredibly supportive. I am so, and I don't know where it comes from because I don't really think that they get it. I don't think that they really understand.
She's expressing herself. Let her be,
Exactly,
yeah.
but they know that I'm all right. They know, they know I'm not going to die.
Well,
And
how
that,
long you been here?
I've been here for 3 years.
Me too.
And my dad saw my set. He visited in August, and I didn't. I was like, should I omit my blowjob bit? Should I? You think about that when
Yes.
you have people,
Yes.
particular people in the audience, and I was like, I can't think about it. I have to just focus, and I have to do my art.
Well, I've always said I'd rather perform in front of a room full of strangers than people I know in the audience.
I agree with that.
Because there's some kind, I don't know what it's about. Even though they're most supportive people.
I absolutely agree with you. And my friends are hard on me. Like when my friends come to my show, they're like, they don't even laugh.
They're like,
it's like I don't even bother inviting them. I was like, and then when they do show up, I'm like, who invited you? I'm like,
take your attitude and go elsewhere. Yeah, that's the other thing too. How long you been doing this? You say you're a newbie.
Well, 3 years. I've been doing stand-up really almost every day for 3 years.
So when you put your foot in the water the first time you get up on stage,
it's petrifying, no?
And it's like, what's wrong with us?
Yeah.
But you the adrenaline is amazing.
Yeah.
And then when you are successful at it, and that's like, man, I want to do that again.
Oh yeah. Then it's addictive. When you get, I think it was the first time I did not bomb. Where I was like, okay, I no
can do
longer
this.
bomb.
Okay,
So
that's
a
did you
big
go
statement.
through bombing?
Oh,
Because they all talk about that.
Woo!
And they're like, you're
Oh, my
not
God.
gonna grow if you don't know what it's like
Wow.
to bomb. And I'm like, yeah. And then they would tell their stories, and I'm like, I'm never getting up there.
Oh no, you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's poetry. It's romantic to bomb. I mean,
Is it?
it's part of the process. I love
Sadists, all of them. Yeah,
oh, and I loved going back to my car and crying. It was so wonderful. It was pounding my forehead on the steering wheel. Why can't I be funny? I mean, it's you have to go through that, or you're just not really living it, and
But-
you don't want it badly enough.
No, but I mean, okay, 3 years. You're not a kid. This is something.
I'm not a kid.
This is
thanks.
something that you stepped into. Well, I'm of a certain age. I had a life before this. I was a corporate executive in the champagne business, and it was like a whole other life. Yeah, and is that what? Because I saw what you're going to be stepping into.
Oh, the pilot that I just
Yes.
filmed? Oh, thank you. So it does come in handy. Things just kind of have a way of falling together. Like because I was a little mad at myself for allowing 12 years of my life to be spent doing something that I didn't really feel was my true passion. But now it's sort of found its way back into my life and in a form of entertainment. So I just filmed a pilot about wine and champagne, and I'm you know, it has to sell, but we filmed 3 episodes, and you know, we don't know if it's going to get picked up, but it's really exciting.
Your background,
my background is wine, and
because like if you know some drunk saying this is great, nut shot,
yeah,
no, you got to know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
in California being wine country that it is,
right?
It's the knowledge that you had that would make perfect sense. You have the perfect look for it, very elegant.
Oh,
okay.
Well, thanks.
You know,
I mean, thank you.
In talking about wine, right?
But
yes,
talking about wine,
wine,
you know, that's right.
Yeah, and in saying that, it's like, isn't it amazing how when you see that all come full circle, it is like you're going, oh, I get it now. That great sense of humor that the universe has. Remember when you didn't want to do this? This is why.
It's so funny,
made you do that,
isn't it? And I also had a successful podcast called Drinking During Business Hours. And
I saw that.
Was about, yes, and it's on hiatus right now because I just don't have time to do it. Now I have a new one at the Comedy Store with Jimmy Shin called Jimmy and Sarah on the Sunset Strip. And so I'm going to give that a go and just see where that goes because it's produced by the Comedy Store. I just felt like that was like a smart thing to just kind of follow that. But you know, Drinking During Business Hours, that's another thing where that also just kind of that past of mine. It was like a niche. I thought, well, there are no other comics that know about wine that I know of that like really indoctrinate that you know, category in their comedy.
No, and there's although I did see there was some guy.
You're like, no, there's a ton of comics to do it,
right? But wait, no. But what I'm saying is like there was a guy, and I find this out for my kids from Drunk History.
Okay,
that was another one.
Actually a really good show.
All right, it is.
Yeah.
And then there was this guy who would just sit at his desk and then say, okay, this is basically, let's get shit-faced and film it. And I'm like, what won't people watch? I mean, it's really kind of funny. I don't know if you look to see what the hottest videos are. And I'm like,
the viral stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I know. There's no logic. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I mean,
isn't there, can we do like a PBS of Instagram where people actually have things to say that mean something? Just saying.
Yeah, okay? No, that would be great.
Information that you could use.
You just never know what's going to catch.
No, and you got to wonder how long the attention span, because I pay a lot of attention. Like there's certain people that keep changing it up. And then there's other people who, if you look, everybody's from the same relationship kind of. And, you know, one of the Instagrammers that I just blows my mind is King Bach. King Bach.
I don't think I know it.
He is one of the most creative. His Instagram clips, he's extremely creative because he's always changing it up. And Will Smith was another one that just...
Yeah, lately he's been really spending time on his Insta.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you have to, I have a social media manager because I just felt like I kind of like hit a wall and I need a little bit of help. So I do have a manager and I was like, what happened? My engagement was down this past month and I didn't do anything differently. So what happened? He goes, that's the problem. You didn't do anything differently.
Yeah.
You have to continuously stay on the edge. You have to keep up. And I just haven't really, it's just so much work.
And I'm looking at how many followers you have, and I'm like, really? Because you're like blowing it out of the park.
Oh, well, you know, it's so interesting because I just had a social media like influencer on my podcast this past week. He gets 1.2 million views per episode, per video that he posts.
So he's making a living at it.
He's making a living, but he doesn't consider himself an influencer. He doesn't consider him, you know, and it's just crazy how, because I feel like, I have like, I just don't feel like I'm.
Did he say a lot of that? Knowing how to hashtag.
Yeah, I learned a lot from that podcast. That's why I have my. I don't know about you, but I love
information.
I love being a host of my podcast. The best thing is learning from my guests.
Right.
That's what I get out of it. That's kind of the only reason why I'm in it.
Yeah,
to enrich my life. I met Jeff on my podcast.
Get out of here.
We fell in love in episode 11.
Did you?
Of Drinking During Business Hours. Yes.
That's hilarious. Well, see that's the whole thing is like I won't go near comedians. Just that was one of the things everybody goes, whatever you do, don't sleep.
I don't sleep with comics.
Any comedians. I'm like, and the skit on stage plays out, and I'm good. I don't need to see that up. Anything about my life up there.
No,
and not just that. This is the honest to God truth. Not dissing any of the male comedians, but it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Where would you stop? There's a lot of beautiful young men out there that are like, hey, and the joke I did about, I go, why is it the only guys ask me out of the brothers in their 30s? And Scruncho was on my show, and he goes, baby, you got what we need. And I just looked at him. I said, what could that be? Is it my ass? Because, my ass looks good.
You've got a great ass.
He goes, no.
Baby got back.
He goes, no. I go, is it my personality? He goes, no. I go, what is it? He goes, baby, it's your credit score.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What is that comic? I just heard that. I just heard him do that bit. Who was it?
The Scruncho. He did it with me, but I don't know if anyone else did that.
I just heard that bit. It must have been him.
Well, I'm going to have to take that out because
maybe he did.
I use that. As to what is the big buzz all about?
Yeah, but anyway,
and you can't.
It's really hard to be. You never know when a joke is derivative because that's a joke where I can see, where that could be like a popular premise, but if someone just slightly changes the punch, then it's their own,
right? Well, we talked about that. People, how do you keep track of your material and other people stealing it? And one of the guys said, well, that's why you got to stay true to your story because it's your story. And you may see that. He goes, it's common knowledge. They do it all the time in this industry. Everybody takes from everybody else.
It's going to happen. It's I post my jokes now. People are like, and a lot of comics don't because they're worried that people are going to steal. But I just, but if you post first, then you have proof that it was yours.
That's it. Yeah. Well, there's so much to be said about stepping into the arena. That, and throwing my hat out into there. And it was like, oh, you're going to do it again. And I'm like, I admire, how do you, time management for comedians? There's a lot of chasing of the stage time, and it's golden. B.T. Kingsley said it to me. He said he actually asked to go on last at the comedy club at Crack 'em Up Thursdays. He says, I don't care if there's 5, put me on when there's 5 people in the room because I want to learn how to bring my own energy. And to create my own energy. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so important because you could go on after a bomb. Let's say you have and I'm sure you've experienced this.
Yes, I have.
With a comedian ahead of you kills it.
Yeah.
In a way that it's not good. Not kill it,
no. Like really, like
crickets.
Like where half the room walks out and then you have to go up.
And how do you handle that?
Not well. If I were a little more seasoned, this happened to me recently. I'm not going to say where I was. I don't want to, but it happened at a high-profile venue, a high-profile night, high-profile room, and I had a lot of people in the audience, and I was just embarrassed, and I just really got in my head about it, and I just wanted to blame that comic. The bottom line is, if I were really not good, if I were great, it would not have mattered.
No, there's some comedians who have sat in that chair and said, let me at them. And I'm like, really?
If you're a great comic, you can overcome it. And you can still slay. And I'm just not there yet. I wanted to blame him, and that's really, now it was a he. But
but what you said was very true. It's to say to yourself, where's the lesson in this?
It's easy to blame other people for your,
anxiety.
Yeah, it was, and just lack of. I'm just not there. I'm not. I have a lot to. They say it takes 5. They say it takes 10 years. But I just had Dean Del Rey and Candace Thompson on my podcast. They're passed at the Comedy Store. They both made it in 5, and both of them did nothing but comedy. They just were obsessed with it. And what's really interesting is once you are past, your life, from what they're telling me, doesn't really change that much. Like they still feel like they're grinding. It's just that now they have the respect of their peers. They respect themselves. There's a confidence that they have because it's the confidence, right?
It was really funny. Now, this is what's funny about what you said because I'm trying to put it all in perspective. I got off stage, and one of the comedians said to me, do you know what most of us spend our time trying to get? And I said, what? He goes, confidence. And you already have that. And I'm like,
you do.
I have an attitude like, I ain't got nothing to lose. You can't take anything more from me. So I just get up there, and I've been doing this my whole life. I was in sales, and all day long I would do the same routine.
I'm not surprised you were in sales.
Over again.
And you're so likable, and you're gregarious, and you just have this beautiful energy. Just you're happy. You're a happy person.
And then people go, so how come it didn't work out? It's the funniest thing when you I don't know. Have you ever been married?
Yeah, I'm divorced.
Okay.
I was with my husband for 10 years.
Okay, so 10 years is a while.
But not as long as you.
No.
What, you 32?
Well, you got smarter before me. But to have that moment when that number comes out and people go, so, in other words, they don't know to say, what's wrong with you? What's up with that? And men will go through this checklist. Did you? Yeah, I did that. All taken care of. Good. Yeah, he was good. And it's like this thing where people are trying to see, will this creep into my life? Can I catch this? And then there's the guys, which I thought was hilarious one night. He kept saying, so how did he get caught? He asked me so many times, I went, what are you doing? Are you taking a survey?
But what is he asking? How did he get caught?
How did he get caught? Well, my husband had his thing that he was doing.
Oh, yeah, mine too.
And, well, that's usually, the deal breaker. Yeah. It's repeated offenses.
That's right.
But you just go...
Interesting, though. That's not always the case, though.
So there's abuse. There's all kinds of different things. But this guy was so inquisitive that he seemed nervous about it. Like, maybe I didn't cut... Maybe I need to check my emails. That's a red flag. And I finally, I just said to him...
a comic?
Yes, I do now. But it was hilarious because
You're smart to not date comics, by the way.
Right. I'm like, dude, whatever you're doing, let me tell you, my mother had a saying. I loved it. The religious people say, what is done in the darkness comes into the light. Rose 101. Anna Marie, shit floats. Sooner or later, it all comes to the surface.
For me, I need that arena to be a safe place. And I don't want to think about, I've never even entertained the notion of dating a comic because I don't want it to get mucky.
No.
Like I just want, when I go to the clubs, I just want to be focused and I don't want any like outside weird, like, oh God, I slept with him.
There's a lot of drama like anything else. I've noticed because I'm, taking it from the perspective of being in the green room. I try not to bother comics because I know a lot of them are, from them telling me in here. I'm focused. I'm trying to get my shit down and, and what I'm going to do. And then there's the ones that you say that they're just chill. They're just hanging out. They get it all down. Right. And they're players. And then there's the cliques. And I was like, I've gone and I've seen, and I'm going to say it, there's been the all white people. And then you go to clubs where it's all the black people. Yeah. And then you can have the Latinos who kind of get mixed. They kind of can go in between all of it.
Asian too. They can kind of fluctuate between the two. Yeah.
And yet there's this thing too. It's like to be able to, and I'm one of those people like I've had one of the comedians go, you do know you're white, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, that, yeah. And the black girls are telling me, you have a black soul. There's just no two ways about it. Like, in seeing that, it's like humor is universal, people. Yeah, I got a Flavor Flav. Yeah, well, one of the guy goes to me, goes, yeah, I'm at work, my real job, and one of the brothers says to me, goes, I knew it. You date brothers, and I looked at him, I go, why would you even say that? He goes, it's your style, man. You got like a black woman kind of mojo about you. I'm like, really? Is that where we're going to go? Well, my father is Sicilian. That's the only thing that I can get.
Oh, yeah?
It's smart-ass East Coast. That's all it is. Don't get it mixed up. Don't put a color on it. Just smart-ass East Coast.
But, when you talk about the lack of diversity, because it is segregated in comedy. It's absolutely segregated. But as a woman, how do you feel? Because I do feel more invited into the black clubs as a woman than probably a white dude.
Oh, yeah, right? You're probably going to have to be really funny and generous, or...
I get, like...
I would have to say, like I try and study that from that perspective, people, because like I'm all about, why can't we all just get along? The competition, it really is cutthroat in a lot of different, there's just so many comedians.
Right now.
But I also have noticed there are those who are just there for the party.
Yeah.
They're not. They're at every bringer. You can tell the difference. They're going to do a ton of dick jokes, and a ton of titty jokes,
right?
And there's really no real vulnerable story coming from them,
right?
And then those are the true comedians that are willing to bare their soul and get up there and share something of themselves in a way that is just It's theirs.
And sometimes they're not necessarily funny, but at least they're interesting.
Very much so.
And,
entertaining.
Right. They're entertaining. And I appreciate that so much more than someone who's just really not engaging on any front. You know?
No, well, I saw Fraser Smith. I finally thought of his name. Fraser Smith. He's we were at a little hole in the wall. I went to go support one of the comedians, Nancy Bellany. Shout out to her. And he came in, and all the comedians came in. They were all beside themselves saying, this guy, he has
quite a, he's been doing it a long time.
And that's where I saw set up, punch, set up.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he snaps his fingers. Come on now, I gave you 3 dick jokes. Got 2 more to go. Georgia going to do 5, bang. Pay attention. Yeah. The bar was watching the Lakers game. The worst thing you can imagine as a comedian. You're competing against a game. Everyone's got their back to you. And the only audience you have is basically, and one of the girl comedians, she spent yelling at people. Like, I'm like, she's not going to get anybody want to listen to her. And just yelling at the people. And I'm doing my show. I'm a fucking professional.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, girl, you're losing your mind up there. That's, and then there was the
worst
comedian,
thing to do.
Right?
Yeah.
Then one of the comedians was like, let me at him. I want to get up there. I want it while they're watching the game. I want the challenge. And then he came walking in, and all the comedians, Stoner Rob was there. He's a character and a half. Stoner Rob.
You know all the
I went to his birthday party. That was
that had to be crazy.
Let me tell you about a contact.
I'm kind of jealous that I didn't get an invite around that.
Right. I took a video of him smoking a 3-foot joint that was like this big around. They had a torch to light it. After that's
his brand.
I'm like, how? Well, they were getting high, and Stoner's at that lull of catching on to the joke, where there's this rolling tide, and the laugh kind of happens. He was laughing his ass off through the whole thing. He was he was beside himself, laughing at the stupidest stuff that because comedians that were too stoned would just lose their train of thought. And I'm like, punchline. Oh yeah, that man. But it's like it's not that easy an audience to perform in front of. But anyways, we're all standing around, and he got up, Fraser got up, and I've never witnessed.
He slays every time.
Every time. And it's just boom, 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 just amazing setup. And that's what I guess that form of delivery, it's one of the hardest forms of comedy to do. You think storytelling is, I think that is.
Oh, really? I think that's easier than storytelling.
Rodney Dangerfield was good with setup, joke, setup, joke.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's all, your preference and your whatever comes
comfort
more,
zone.
Yeah, natural. Like I love writing jokes on Twitter because I find that 140 characters or less is the perfect amount of words for a premise setup punch. And I write jokes on Twitter now though it's more than 140 characters, right? It's 280, which I'm not used to that yet. It's like, oh, can I still make it funny at 280? So I started writing my jokes on Twitter and then taking it to the stage, depending on how many likes I would get. And
I like that idea.
It's kind of perfect for the stage.
I don't have
it kind of like helped me. Oh no! All right, well,
I'm gonna go Twitter, because I want to see what you're doing.
Twitter, it made a comeback with Trump. Unfortunately, it was going to go away. It was dying before Trump, but now
because the first word is twit.
Yeah,
so it makes perfect.
I didn't
Trump
get
twit.
it at all. I was like, oh man, now I have to be on Twitter. Like so many things, right? Insta, Facebook, Insta Live, Insta Stories, Facebook Live.
It's true though. It's maddening, isn't it? But
Twitter
is that where you built up your followers from Twitter?
No, I built up with Instagram, and it started out as a platform that I really enjoyed, and I was kind of lonely. I just moved to LA. I didn't have any friends, and that's what I would do on my Friday nights. I know it sounds really pathetic.
No.
After bombing in a comedy club, I would just go home and get on my Instagram and try to find friends, man. And that's how it started. And it was like this really genuine, because Instagram, what a lot of people don't understand is it's relationship driven. It's a 2-way street. You have to interact and engage with other people. People are like, why don't I have any followers? It's like, well, are you following them back, numbskull?
I am. And
follow
I do.
back.
I'm finding that in like talking to people like, hey man, I really like your words. or whatever, and seeing that. What I find I hate right now is I got a lot of businesses hitting my and then they're there for a second. Oh, look at me! If you just go on my page, you are so beautiful. I need you to. I'm like, get off.
Yeah, and do you get dick pics on your
inboxes? Those. Listen.
Neither do I.
What I would like to do, I did. I had a young man,
just one,
a basketball player.
It's really flattered.
It was just one. And what was funny about it was he said, "My nickname is Glade," and I said, "Glade," and he said, "Because my dick is the same size as a Glade air freshener can," and I'm like, "Well, of course I'm gonna say, get out of here." So that's the dick pic. I get this massive penis next to and they are, in fact.
And he had a can for
right. He compared, and I was like,
my
"Damn,
God,
that's offensive." And then
it's
frightening.
Fantastic.
And then he went on to tell me, actually,
I mean, that he had the can and Glade, not that his. I mean, just like, but that's impressive that he had the can.
Do you know creative. He went on to tell me how sad his love life was because women would weep at the sight of it. I can't handle all of that. I couldn't really enjoy sex because.
This became like a psychology,
I'm
like a psychiatric.
Right, my age, I'm like, you are more than your penis.
That's a good bit,
right?
Have you?
No, but it was the truth. I mean, I'm like really trying to coax this kid out of
That's a really good bit.
You don't need to send your dick. You have other talents, I'm sure. And especially with the Glade. Oh my God!
I want to hear this on stage.
Right. Well, yeah, that would be brought up. I could see him yelling out in the audience. And the fact that you're 28 years old,
interesting as hell.
Yeah,
and you probably don't need any punchlines. Seriously, you probably. I bet
I've had more.
If you tell stories,
interesting.
I bet you are so engaging, and you don't need like the formula. You know?
See, I wouldn't even know what that was. And everybody's tried to like beat me over the head with that. No,
good.
Beginning, middle, end. Then you bring it back around. You got to loop it. And I'm like,
not everyone needs to go to school. Sometimes you're just a natural. You're like some of the best actors have never gone to acting school. I mean,
I always joke about it. I said, these little kids get up in front of the camera, and they're like, children are so open. Yeah, well, some of the retards I've met are pretty open too, as far as the way. And that's my daughter goes, "Mom, you use that word." I went, "Retarded?" And she goes, "Yeah." Now this is my daughter, and I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" She's like, "Politically," and I'm like, "You know what? It's comedy. Give me a break, overly sensitive people. Go turn on PBS or the Wild Station if you want to keep yourself politically correct, or watch a documentary." Which, by the way, now I have to ask you this. Were you like kind of surprised at how terminology has changed being single again with the way youngsters kind of just come at you?
Yeah.
And how blunt everybody is.
Yeah. They have no dignity, man.
No.
I'm really anti these dating websites too. Because I feel
Flick a dick, pick a dick, and dicks are us.
I feel like that's sort of part of the corruption. And, I do believe in equality, but I also believe in chivalry. I feel like I'm sounding so old right now.
No.
But, come on. Like, we still want to be wooed. And I feel like, the younger generation
is not. And I mean, I'm like, okay, let me get this straight. You're getting upset over the way men are treating women saying this. Well, you need to change what you're projecting. Because what I see on Instagram, seriously, I mean, not that I don't admire the way they can move their body parts, but the way... Girl, you never even showed your face. And by the way, I loved it. One of the comedians said that. He goes, so all these girls that are like twerking and doing this on Instagram and doing their, by the time they get done, they're unrecognizable little vinyl doll lookalikes because they have so much makeup on. Behind them is a disgustingly unmade, girl, I'm looking for, you know how to clean your room. You know how to, show me a woman, it just, the guys are saying that it is getting a little bit much.
Oh, yeah.
As to like the way women, and they're all nervous. Let me get this straight. That's what you're projecting. And then and everybody goes, well, it doesn't matter if she's asking for it. I'm like, well, you got your coochie and everything's like rolling around.
Oh, isn't it crazy? I feel so old complaining about it. I feel like I sound like my mother and my grandmother, but no, it's concerning. It breaks my heart for these young, beautiful girls. These smart girls that are just they're just giving it away.
That's right.
They're just giving pearls to swine. They're not valuing themselves.
Oh, I haven't heard that saying, pearls to swine.
Yeah,
that's right.
You know?
You have this thing, as far as being, at my age, I talk to a lot of young women about, the way they should empower themselves, invest in themselves, because there's just something to be said about the fairy tales were told as young girls.
Yeah.
And actually I was in a Daughtry, his song Superman, and she's waiting, and she's, waiting for him to pick her up in his arms and pick her up and save her. And I'm like, that's not
that was
really...
every single fairy tale that we had read as
first you got to murder the parents. And then, thank you very much. And, disaster. Yeah. And to have girls empower themselves. And I remember my daughter saying to me, I had to do a paper with her, and she said, they want the heroine to go into the, go down the dungeon stairs, and we have to have something there that she saves herself and the village and da-da-da-da. And what can I put down? My daughter's going through it, a hatchet and this. And I went, put a mirror. She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, put a mirror, because she's the only one who can help herself.
Yeah. So
my daughter wrote it out like that and got an A, by the way. And saying to my girls, because I have 2 girls, and I'm just saying, my mother got even with me twice, but I'm always like, you have to, as a woman, do you have kids?
No, I forgot.
You forgot. They're overrated. I tell my kids that all. You people are overrated. But to have that women being empowering, like when you see a little girl, and what does everybody tell her? She looks pretty.
Yeah.
When she gets her dress on, go show Daddy how pretty you look.
Pink dress,
right?
Pastel-colored dress.
Well, they're starting to change that, though.
In the dress, yeah, right. They are.
And in comedy, like there was a woman. Have you ever seen this where someone gets up and they're berating themselves? Mm-hmm. And there was a real heavy girl, and she was like talking about how her mother talked to her, and it actually became like uncomfortable to laugh because it was so like.
It was Hannah Gadsby-ish.
Yeah. It was kind of like,
that's the latest thing, though, in comedy.
Slashing your throat in front of everybody? Bleeding out on the stage with all your insecurities?
I mean, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
right
a star
now,
overnight.
That's the thing. They're kind of changing the form of comedy right now. And it's, it's interesting to see how it's going to even out. But, I mean, have you seen the Hannah Gadsby special?
No.
Okay, it's really interesting. She became an overnight sensation. Her Netflix special, it starts where she's doing some punches, and she's quite compelling, and she's funny, and then it just crescendos into darkness, and there are no longer any punches, and then it just becomes shouting and yelling and crying and talking about incest, and she is just angry, and it's just praised everywhere, and it got that's all. I mean, it's like this new form of comedy, and I applaud what she did. I applaud, and a lot of comics are going this route. I think it takes so much courage to get up there and spill your guts out the way she did. But to me, it's not comedy. That's not a comedy show.
It has a place, but I wouldn't say. Well, that's a lot of the one-woman shows.
Yeah,
and
it was like a one-woman show. Yeah,
I saw Scruncho's one, and I was blown away by his show because it was so much. And Shelley Shepherd is backing this, but it was the same thing. There were things about it that made you laugh, but it was very dark, and it was very. I mean, it was very powerful.
Yeah,
about what his story was. And then going to see other things where I'm like, well, if this is the route that it's going, if they want you to, do that, it's because, again, as a society, it's this 30-second attention span is craving.
Shock value. But I think people really want truth and vulnerability right now. And I think that is a good thing. But there's still an art form of stand-up, though, that I just... Call me primitive.
I love that.
I
like the tongue-in-cheek where, like Dave Chappelle does and Chris Rock does, where it's truth. And it's a raw truth about our society that people would just like to forget about.
Yeah.
And then comedy as a way. I always said it was a mirror, and I say this almost every show. The comedy is the truth in the mirror with a smirk on its face. Because it really is the raw truth on a lot of different issues that we'd like to not notice are there, but they're there.
Yeah.
And now that everybody's getting touchy and feely about what we're going to talk about, it's like, how do we go from being touchy and feely about what we're going to talk about and being politically correct to, I mean, do you remember, was it in Living Color when they did when he did the handicap hero?
Yes. That was so funny.
That was brilliant.
It was brilliant.
Why should they be left out was his thing. Why should they be left out? But the way he pulled that off was amazing.
But it kind of circles back to what we said in the very beginning of our interview. Just be funny.
Absolutely.
Just be funny.
And that take it to the next level.
And that was so funny.
Because I want to know who doesn't laugh at the little old lady that trips and falls.
It's funny.
You can't help it. It's always been funny. Slapstick and working that into it, right? It's like,
as long as it's not my grandma.
Right. As long as it's not your grandma. Look, I got the video of it.
It's like it's not me in 30 years. It's so funny.
But that being true, you know, people have to have that little edge. We all know why you go to the racetrack. You're hoping there's a crash. I mean, it's just blood and thirst is in our bones. I've been watching, you know, it's funny, the documentaries, they had the thing on Rome and all that. It was like, the way those people lived, barbaric as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine that. Be funny or get eaten by the lion.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Is that how it felt?
So I guess we had progressed in entertainment. I feel like I had been in those rooms. But
you ever have a heckler that goes?
Yeah. I had a comic heckle me.
What?
Yeah.
That just ain't right.
No, it was a female comic. Yeah.
Bitches need
I know.
stitches.
Isn't
What's
that something?
up with that?
Yeah. That was really unusual and not cool. And I'll never forget. I'll never forget her name. I'm making a list. I have a list of everyone who has been nice to me.
Girl, I can't believe you're saying that. I was just talking that. You know that saying, be good to the people on your way up because it's the same people you see on the way down?
Yeah.
It's driving me. Like
Oh, yeah. No, I love the people who are telling me, no, you're not gonna, what are you doing? What do you go back to the day job?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because, you know, they see you as the sweet little white girl who's just gotten bored with her career.
Yeah.
You don't know the dues I've paid, bitch. Right. And that really is
They have
funny.
no idea. You know,
they don't. That's
turmoil
that
I've been through
judging you based on
that's right,
their
looks
mindset.
Exactly, or what they think, you know, status.
Aren't you from All American Doll?
That's
you know the All American girl dolls. Don't you have a doll like you could go home and play with? Yeah, because you represent that, right? Purebred, Polly Purebred.
Yeah, I do. I'm American Pie for sure. Yeah.
So they must really want to rip you apart.
They do. And in the beginning, I had to really worry about how I was dressed on stage, and I thought about I just overthought everything. I would overthink, you know, and that's going to kill your art if you're thinking about other things.
True.
Now I really don't think about it. Well, I think about it a little. Like I started dressing like myself on stage. Where before
you do have a niche about how you look. And I have to catch your act because I imagine that what comes out of your mouth, people are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe she said that."
Yeah,
right?
That does happen. That happens, and it's my truth. But it's very. I'm kind of dark, I think, and I think that people aren't expecting that. I think they just assume I'm dark. I'm very, very, very self-deprecating. And
wait a minute, I would think that would be something that with the women are like, "That's right, bitch, I knew it." Mm-hmm. You be that way. Is that 5? Or you just waving at me? That's my producer going, yeah, you get 5. I got 5.
Mr. Halstead.
Yeah, you know something that
I believe everything he says.
That there is so much joy that I've gotten in stepping in to this facility, and then this came as a fluke. Meeting him, and he would say to me, there's a lot to be said about confidence, and he'd say to me, you just gotta do you. And you know, what you have, you can't teach people. And that's the same when you're on stage. If you're not true to yourself, if you start thinking like, oh, maybe I should hit a punch like she just did, or maybe I should wear my clothes like your authenticity, because, when the war
you're going to be delayed.
Yeah, but,
the
you hear everybody,
the
wars that they're having, the brothers, Kevin and Cat Williams and everybody going at each other and all that. Yeah. And I said, in this format that you guys have risen above, now is where you all should stand together and keep rising. I just can't believe that people of that caliber would do that, but the industry is insanely competitive, and you really do have to have a good sense of yourself, and support of your family must be huge.
It is. And
because
friends,
at the end of the day, right?
At the end of the day, that's all that you have.
Right.
That's all that matters.
You know, you're going to see a lot of people that, as you said on that list, that the greatest was the
etched
revenge.
in my mind.
It's success.
It's memorized.
Yeah. I would have to think, how can you not be graceful to others? I just don't get
I don't
that.
get why would you want to be mean to another human? Why would you want to hurt the feelings of someone?
There's some real edginess.
I don't understand.
Listen, I had someone who was like, yes, I'm coming on your show. Give me the directions. It was like, was it the day before something had happened? Or they waited to I'm talking the last second.
Ooh.
Never answered me.
Ooh.
And I was just like, that person? And I don't burn bridges.
They are dead to you.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'll have you on again. Yeah, no, I don't really care.
Thank you for being nice to me. You're on the good list.
I'm on the good, like Linda the Good Witch.
You're on the list with the perfume. I have the list.
That's it. That right. And then there's the bucket of turd. In the turd bucket, you go.
Litter.
And I hope to where are you going to be performing?
Next, I'm at the Comedy Store La Jolla. On the 1st of November, next Thursday. God, where has October gone?
Which I pronounce La Jolla.
Oh, La Jolla? Okay.
Yeah, I kept saying, I'm going to La Jolla, but it's La Jolla.
La Jolla. I'm at Flappers November 9th. You perform at Flappers, right?
No.
Oh, I thought I saw
You saw a picture of me standing on stage going, take my picture, looks like I'm important.
Really? You
right
didn't have
before the show?
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm at Flappers November 9th, and I'll probably have some other stuff come up, I hope. But that's what I have on the books for now.
Those are not like low grade clubs, people. This woman's the real deal. And to do that in 3 years, because from what I understand, the Laugh Factory is 2 years to even get time on that stage.
That was hard to get on that stage.
Right?
I really paid my dues. I stood in that line in the sweltering heat, in 110-degree heat, every single Tuesday for about 6 months.
What's every single Tuesday? What are they doing?
That's how you get in at the Laugh Factory. You do an open mic for their drunks at 6 p.m. just for the drunks. And if you can make them laugh after 6 months, finally, they gave me 3 minutes for their normal crowd.
Oh, wow.
The sober crowd. Well, the
nobody
crowd that
knows
had just
how
like a little buzz on, but not drunk. And I passed. Jeff was there.
Because if you had a 3-minute orgasm, it'd be the best ever. So
you know
people
what?
go,
That's true.
You only got 3 minutes? Yeah.
That's really
have a 3-minute orgasm. You'd be in heaven. Just so you know. That's what we compare it to.
That's right.
'Cause we're women. That's what we do. Yes.
Damn.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
so that was exciting.
Yeah. I find that a lot of people, the idea of discouraging, because they'll tell you, oh, this is really hard. This is, it takes, Alonzo Bowden, the first advice he gave me
My
was,
favorite.
it took me 8 years to become an overnight success. And of course, I'm a smart ass. I went, what? I can't do it in 30 days? Fuck this shit. I'm going home.
I bet he loves you.
And then he's looking at me like, are you serious? And then I go, give him something I can use. And he said, well, you're in LA. There's every the talent. And I go, what? You mean there's competition out here? But then he got it. But what he said to me was, one of the biggest mistakes that people make on stage is not listening. And he said that timing, you got to be able to hear your audience.
Yeah.
Which I am so glad I was able to have a great show tonight. I am so thrilled.
Thanks.
And then I go home
Very
like
much.
I'm 7. I go, I got to go watch it again. Because I get to see everything that I did.
That's great, right? Yeah, I love that about my podcast too. Well, doing the edits I enjoy because I can, listen over and over.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. We'll be doing pitches. Tune in next week. I have Stacey Hall on my show, who is appearing on Lucifer. And it's just right before Halloween, so it ought to be perfect. And Lee, take me out, and I'll see you out there.
Thank you.
I got tipple bags, yeah. If your service good, get a stag, yeah. 50 grand, make your job disappear. I look the part, yeah, I look Davenir. Get my order right or I'ma bust a Yui. I don't like raw fish in my sushi. Want a big tip, better get the